Brownfield financing can be a scary thing for a lot of people, and I've been working with communities for close to 20 years on figuring out how to put together the pieces and how to get the resources together to deal with brownfield financing situations. In a lot of ways, people have said brownfields are like snowflakes, no two are alike. And what that also means is that the brownfield financing strategies that you need to deal with are also quite different. There's a lot of ways in which federal programs can be used to help promote brownfield reuse. Now, we all know about grants, and grants are a great thing. Everybody likes to get the big check from EPA. But it's also important to remember, as you're thinking about how you're going to stitch together a financing strategy to your advantage to deal with some of these brownfield situations, that there's a lot of other things that federal programs can do. There's at least 24 federal programs that have been used some way or the other by communities somewhere or the other to deal with the various aspects of brownfield financing to pay for site assessment, cleanup, site preparation, the whole range of activities. Now, some of the programs out there, like those offered by the Small Business Administration, can help reduce lenders' risk. And in this current economic climate, things like loan guarantees can be very key because they make banks comfortable with the idea of your project, and it can help you secure financing. There's also ways in which communities can work to help borrowers reduce their project costs and their upfront costs. Things like interest rate reductions can make money more affordable, allow them to borrow a little more to deal with some of those cleanup and assessment costs. There's also ways in which communities can help developers and others redeveloping brownfields with various due diligence assistance, helping them, facilitate the testing, helping them pull together some of the financial, information that they need to make their projects acceptable in the eyes of a lender. There's also ways in which you can reduce the borrower's financial situation to make them better able to take on the debt that they need to take on to do a brownfield project. Things like, repayment grace periods, where a program may sort of basically pay the first few months of a note to give that developer time to catch his breath, get the project in place, can be enormously valuable. And there's tools out there that can be used to provide you with resources that you can offer that grace period. Things like tax abatements and incentives help reduce the need for cash for tax payments, for other things, and that allows you to use those resources to deal with some of those basic site assessment and cleanup needs. And one of the things we're also seeing out there in more communities is that technical assistance can play an important role in brownfield financing as well. It's almost a low-cost or a no-cost tool that can be very valuable to those taking on these brownfield sites. Working with university centers, other technical assistance providers to show lenders and investors that the technologies that you want to use actually work. And the technical assistance is also very helpful for those who decide that they want to use an institutional control, a cap or another restriction to reduce the cost of cleanup by making it easier to come up with an acceptable alternative to dig and haul. And they can also be used to show that the new technologies could work. New technologies are emerging all the time to deal with cleanup in a much more cost-effective way, and these technical assistance providers can go a long way towards providing the comfort and the corroboration that's needed to make these technologies acceptable to lenders and to the community.